Hi, I'm JP Sloan. I'm the author of the Dark Choir series of urban fantasy novels, the first of which is The Curse Merchant, available now on Amazon or on Barnes & Noble's website, depending on if you have a Kindle or Nook. This is my contribution to the Read Around the World experiment. I am reading to you today from New Market, Maryland, just outside of Frederick, Maryland, and that's in the United States. I'll be reading to you an excerpt from Andrew Buckley's Death, the Devil, and the Goldfish. Everyone quieted down as Death continued to shout at the bar patrons, telling each and every one of them exactly when and where they would be the moment that they died. He didn't actually know offhand, he was just guessing, but that was the only thing he could think of on short notice that might scare them. The bar was stunningly quiet. Death could almost smell the victory. In fact, he was very close to smiling, until the bar patrons burst into another round of laughter, and Patty the Butcher was the one who ran to the bathroom. At that, the bartender decided the funnily dressed stranger had caused quite enough entertainment and should be kicked out before he got rowdy. The group of drunken Irishmen all cheered as the Angel of Death got thrown out of the bar. Questions like, "Do you work dinner parties?" and "Would you be available to perform at my daughter's birthday?" followed him out the door, along with more rounds of laughter. An hour later, after he'd grown tired of shouting at the lamppost, and the mailbox proved unresponsive, Death decided he'd had quite enough. He talked the whole thing over with God just a month ago, but the talk had done no good. God was infallible and omnipotent, not to be confused with the word impotent, which is a common disorder found in older men, and therefore knew when, where, and how everything in the entire world was going to happen throughout the existence of all time. When Death tried to plead his case, God, knowing how this whole thing was to end, simply sat there with a whimsical smile on his face. Death asked what he should do, and God just patted him on the head and told him that it probably wasn't worth worrying about. Then he wandered off, whistling happily to himself. That actually succeeded in calming Death down for a while, but lately things had just been getting worse, and everything all sort of culminated when he realized he was somewhat of a glorified doorman, and that he was standing on a lonely street in the middle of Ireland shouting at a lamppost. But the thing that really bit into him, the one thing about his job that had been burning up inside of him, was that when he guided people up or down, not once, not even once in 1,000 years, had anyone said so much as a thank you. And so, after a lot of alcohol, provoking by the local townsfolk, and a long conversation with a suspicious-looking cat, Death, the Angel of Death, the Grim Reaper, the guide to the afterlife himself, decided that he'd had enough. And right there on the spot, he quit. To be continued. If you'd like to sign up and join the Read Around the World experiment, just head over to www.planetkibi.com. That's planetkibi.com. You can find the address in this video description. All right, kids, you behave yourselves, all right? Cheers.